Today we're going to replace the sights on a Smith & Wesson Shield. This happens to be a 9mm, but it's exactly the same process as the 40. You'll need some Loctite. Blue is fine. The break-free will help lubricate the existing sights to get them off. We chose the AmeriGlow night sights. They're the lowest profile night sights that we could find. They're good and bright, so we think we'll be happy with those. So the first thing you want to do is take down the weapon. So that's really simple. Pull back the slide, release the takedown lever, pop out the clip, release the slide, pull the trigger, come right apart. We're going to take the spring out and the barrel, and then these existing sights, they exit towards the ejection barrel, so you're going to want to hammer them that way. So the new sights come with an Allen wrench that fits the old sights. And we'll go ahead and remove that first. And go ahead and take it completely out. You'll need a good sized sledgehammer. You'll have to beat on these old sights pretty hard to get them out. You'll need a punch if you want to save the old sights. Use a brass punch. If you don't care, then use any punch. And then you'll need I just used a block of wood, but something like this to hammer the new sights in, get them into position. They go in pretty easily. I have a jaw horse set up, and I used a board up against the house to secure the jaw horse, so as I hit it, it won't move. So when you set the slide up in the jaw horse, you want to position it so the ejection port is away from you. The existing slides only come out in one direction, and that's towards the ejection port. Don't be scared to lock down on it really tight. You're not going to hurt it. Okay, so go ahead and spray the brake free in there. Wipe off the excess so it doesn't splatter all over you. It'll penetrate on its own pretty nicely. The front slide, there's nothing to worry about as far as what's under it. You just bang it off. The rear slide has a spring under it that you need to pay attention to. So the front slide, as I mentioned, we're going to use a steel punch because we're not going to save the old ones. And just give it a good whack, and there we go. It'll come right out. The rear slide is a different story. You do have to beat on it pretty good. Okay, you'll start to see the whoop, up down. That's what I was talking about. You'll start to see this this spring. It's got a top plate on it. The top plate has just a little hole or a little nipple that goes on top of the spring. So just put that right back together. And what we'll do is hold this down when we put the new slide in. Okay, so with both slides off, we're going to go ahead and flip it around so we can put in the new sights. We did go ahead and clean up the dovetails where the sights go. And we'll go ahead and put the front sight in first. So you just position it in there, and with a piece of wood or something soft so that we don't damage it, you just hammer it in. We'll check, and you want to get it visually in the center. A little bit too much. So just give it one smack here. There we go. I'm going to spray a little brake free on the on this one. It is a little bit more difficult to get in, so the extra lubrication will help. That brake free will just set up in there later. We do want to take out the Allen screw. That comes with it. I'm going to take it completely out, and then we'll just press down on the spring. With your finger and slide in the new sights. So you can see how that's seated in there. There's a little groove on here that doesn't have any specific direction. You don't have to worry about getting that in a specific way. You know what, we'll use the edge of this. Make it a little easier. So to press that, slide in. Make sure that's seated in there just fine. And then again with your block of wood. Okay, wiggle it in there as far as you can get it with your fingers, and then with the block of wood, go ahead and hammer it in. I'm going to go ahead and cut this block to give me a good new edge. It's all beat up from the other gun. And again, you just want to visually hammer it in there so that it's centered. And then you'll sight the gun at the range, make some notes of where the sights need to move, and then tweak them later. There we go. Up a little bit too far, so we'll do the same thing. We'll just bang it out the other way. You do want to completely cover that hole and get it centered as visually as you can. The last step is to take and put some Loctite on this Allen screw. I like to just dip it like so, and then stick it right here in the hole in the back slide. You just want to torque it down all the way, pretty tight. Keep it in place. Here's a finished view of the sights. I'll give you a view of what they look like in the dark too. This is the Allen head that just requires a little Loctite. But as you can see, very simple and really great result. I'll show them to you at night. Here's what these sights look like at night. You can see the two rears and the single front. We'll go ahead and line them up. That would be your, right about there. That would be your view if you were shooting. And you can see that you can't see them at night. Go ahead and turn the gun sideways, and can't see them at all I'm sorry, you can't see them from the side. But that's what you can expect. Don't be intimidated. This installation was really simple, and I'd recommend it as an upgrade to your factory sights.